We asked, you voted. From demonic possessions and cursed TVs, to haunted hotels and killer clowns. Here are movies that scared everyone the most. 10. It, 2017. The fear of clowns is a very real thing, even if it's become so commonplace to announce it that it feels disingenuous. If you needed any further evidence, we direct you to the box office haul of 2017's It, based on the Stephen King novel of the same name, which went on to beat The Exorcist's 44-year record as the highest-grossing horror film ever. 9. Insidious, 2010. James Wan has already shown up higher on the list, but before he and Patrick Wilson made The Conjuring, they worked together on this supernatural thriller about a young boy who falls into a coma and begins to channel a malevolent spirit. The bare bones of the story weren't the most groundbreaking, but frequent Wan collaborator Lee Winnell infused it with a compelling enough mythology that it spawned 3 more installments. 8. Sinister, 2012. Before he joined the MCU with 2016's Doctor Strange, director Scott Derrickson had racked up a few horror films, a couple of which earned cult followings. One of them was this small-scale haunted house/possession story about true crime writer Ethan Hawke, who moves his wife and kids into a house where a family was murdered, only to discover the new place might already have a rather evil tenant. 7. Halloween, 1978. Coming in at the 7th spot on our list is the film that introduced the world to all-time scream queen Jamie Lee Curtis and put John Carter on the map. Halloween is frequently cited as one of the earliest examples of the slasher genre as we know it today, and while it may not feature the same kind of realistic gore we've come to expect of films in that category, it packs a lot of tension and some inventive thrills in a relatively small-scale package. The film's legacy is also fairly untouchable. Michael Myers' mask has become the stuff of legend, and the giant unstoppable killer and the final girl have become ingrained in the horror lexicon. There's a reason the franchise is still going after more than 40 years. 6. The Ring, 2002. It's always a tricky proposition to take something that works well for one culture and try to translate that formula successfully for another. But Gore Verbinski managed that with The Ring, a remake of Japanese director Hideo Nakata's acclaimed thriller about a cursed videotape. Verbinski's take kept the original film's striking visual imagery, the ghost of a young girl in a white dress with long black hair covering her face, and found that it scared the hell out of audiences no matter where they were from. 5. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974. This low-budget slasher directed and co-written by Tobe Hooper was very loosely inspired by the crimes of Ed Gein. Texas Chainsaw's grimy aesthetic helped blend it an air of authenticity, which made it all the more frightening, and the massive, menacing presence of Gunnar Hansen's Leatherface paved the way for other brutes like Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees. 4. The Shining, 1980. Literally dozens of Stephen King's novels and stories have been adapted for the big screen, and several of those films are considered classics today, like Carrie, Misery, and Pet Sematary. But the mother of them all is easily Stanley Kubrick's adaptation of The Shining, a marvel of set and production design, and a genuinely unnerving take on the traditional haunted house story. The Shining features a host of memorable images and an iconic Jack Nicholson performance. 3. The Conjuring, 2013. James Wan has staked out a place among the modern masters of horror, directing films like Saw, Dead Silence, Insidious, and this inspired by true events chiller based on the experiences of real-life paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens, best known for their work on the strange case that inspired the Amityville horror movies, were portrayed by Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, who grounded the effective jump scares and freak-out moments with a believable world weariness. 2. Hereditary, 2018. Writer-director Ari Aster made a huge splash with his feature directorial debut, a dark family drama about the nature of grief couched within a supernatural horror film. Toni Collette earned a spot in the pantheon of great Oscar snubs with her slowly ratcheted up to 11 performance as bedeviled Mother Annie. But the movie's biggest shock came courtesy of, well, we won't spoil that here. 1. The Exorcist, 1973. You may not agree that The Exorcist is the scariest movie ever, but it probably also isn't much of a surprise to see it at the top of our list. William Friedkin's adaptation of the eponymous novel about a demon-possessed child and the attempts to banish said demon became the highest-grossing R-rated horror film ever, and the first to be nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. Did your favorite horror movie make it to our list? What's your go-to horror movie? Comment down your thoughts below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and get notified so you're always on the loop. Have a good day!